All right, what's up, guys? My name's Asante Eloshi,
I'm Jesus Rodriguez from Watch the Matter with Me.
and welcome to
Two Guys, One Garage. We gotta do it again, bro. There we go.
Wait, elbows.
There we go.
So, how you been? What you been up to?
What's up, brother? So, not much really. Just kind of Christmas shopping and getting ready for that ordeal. You know, been going to some Christmas parties lately that were for the better, for the worst. I did a lot of drinking. You know, I don't
I
drink
know you were
that.
telling me you were exhausted a little while back ago.
Yeah, I don't drink that much, but these Christmas parties had me going and but been pretty good. How about yourself?
Honestly, I just been chilling. I'm becoming more and more peaceful. You know, because I've been working on what we talked about. You know, really
Less
focusing.
procrastination.
Yeah, really focusing on trying to be more at peace and more present in life.
For sure.
So I've just been feeling a lot better, just in general, like mental health wise.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did get a little bit of shopping done
Nice.
for like one day, but I need to go back.
Nah, dude, me and my wife have been going shopping for like the past 3-4 weeks and I hate it. But it is what it is, you know? And so you guys didn't know, but you're going back to work, you said a lot more? Nice. That's gonna kinda correlate to what we're gonna talk about in today's episode, guys. We're going to take a stand of being on the topic of success and failure and like careers and did and don'ts. What would you say?
Okay.
All right. You want to start off? You want me to start off?
I'll start off. So, first question I have for you is going to be, where did your hunger for success come from?
So where did my hunger for success? That's an easy question for me personally because I come from a family of immigrants, from a family that gave it all for me to be here, for my brother to be here, who risked it all for us to be here. And you know, my hunger for success and you know, for me not to fail is to not let them down, you know, to make their sacrifice worth every penny for me to be here where I'm sitting down right now. You know what I mean? And like my father didn't have a childhood. You know what I mean? He dropped out in the first grade. He taught himself how to read and write. Excuse me. He taught himself how to read and write, reading comic books. You know what I
Comic
mean?
books? Okay.
As an adult, so
Dang, okay.
not even as a child. Like as an adult, he taught himself how to read and write as an adult, reading comic books. He's been working since he dropped out of the first grade to try to make money to help his family, and he got here to the United States, I think, when he was like 12. So imagine a 12-year-old kid without his parents, you know, working the fields.
Sounds cooked, to be honest.
You know,
Sounds absolutely cooked.
so 12-year-old kid gets to the U.S., doesn't know the language, doesn't know anything, but all he knows is he wants to work and provide for his family. And so that's what kind of pushes me and why I tell myself I need to be successful. So maybe one day I can take care of them how they took care of me. You know what I mean? How about yourself?
For me, my success story, the thing that pushes me to be, you know, above average per se, is I want to race. You know, it literally comes down to racing is kind of what drives me. And the fact is, to go race, it costs a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Like, when it comes to racing, I think the best price you can probably say is it costs you everything. Like, it costs you your mental health to a certain degree, it costs you financially, you know,
time. I mean,
time.
just prep time to get there.
Like, your whole entire life kind of becomes structured around this one ordeal. So, you know, racing just pretty much, it's what inspires me.
I'll tell you what though. I don't know about you, but like based on my response, do you feel pressured?
The only amount of pressure I feel is just to try to even get to the standard that my parents supply to me too. And that's sort of
that's for me, that's like a huge stress in my life, I guess you could say. Whether it's a good way to look at it or not, it's the stress of, am I living up to the expectations I should, or am I living up to the fulfillment of the sacrifice that they did? You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I think about a lot. And you know, you can look at me and tell me, you're doing great, brother. You know what I mean? You're doing good. You have a career. Da 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 da. But in my head, I don't feel like it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like my parents, they gave me a really, really good life, and I'd be happy just to be able to do the same when I have kids or anything like that.
absolutely.
So I do kind of have that pressure of trying to reach a standard per se that I've set for myself because my parents have already set the bar
Really high.
really, really high.
That's
too.
cool though, because like it's two opposites. You want to set the bar high because your parents, you know, they provided for you and they did everything they could for you, and I want to set the bar high as well because I come from a family where they didn't have anything. You know what I mean? So I want to provide everything and anything for them as they get older. You know what I'm saying?
So like that, yeah, that inverse.
Yeah, it's that inverse. That's really interesting.
But it's funny, we still end up at the same location.
Yeah, we stay in the same location, same goal, right?
Same goal, yeah.
Okay. You want anything to add to that?
I wish racing didn't cost so much money. I will say I definitely wish racing didn't cost so much money. It'd be way easier to try and, get into my hobby. It's not like hiking where, essentially once you get like some running shoes, you can go and hike. I won't say anywhere, but, the limitations aren't definitely not as high as racing, where racing costs you thousands of dollars.
I mean, just in a set of tires, you're at a couple $100, and depending what type of racing you're doing, if you're drifting, it might last you. If you're drifting, it might last you a couple sessions. Whereas if you're circuit racing, maybe it'll last you a track event or two. But nonetheless, that's just one thing to think about. Then you're talking about brake rotors. You're talking about brakes. Fluid changes, and that's just the controllables. That's what you can control, and you have to replace and do, not including any of the stuff that are gonna break. That's a whole different
Yeah, like how we used to get like the RE71Rs.
Yeah,
and
Federals,
like RT660s, and that kind of stuff. For me to get a set of those tires, we're looking at like $1,500, $1,800.
Wow. So there's nothing in the market that could match that. I mean, I'm sure the tariffs aren't helping, right?
Yeah, definitely not helping. Yeah, nothing's cheap anymore, dude. Nothing's cheap. Racing has gotten.
Yeah, we used to buy those Federals for like $300, right?
I mean, I wouldn't even say it was cheap before.
It's like $600 for a set.
Yeah.
It was more obtainable, more affordable back then. What about the Nankangs? Are the Nankangs just expensive?
I don't think they came out with a new set. I mean, they're still expensive, but they haven't came out with a new set.
They have one set they have one set, I believe, of track-oriented, tires, I believe. But
yeah.
You should look into those.
They have the CRSs.
Oh, is it that one?
But they haven't came out with a new tire in years at this point. At this point, man. That's in the past, bro.
Right, yeah.
They actually came
old
out.
Technology.
It's old technology, because even RE71Rs, they came out with an RE71RZ. And that's about to come out next month.
There you go.
So yeah, they're already on a new generation of tire.
Well, we'll go on to the next question. My question was, what's been, the worst job you've had? Keeping the same flow going.
Okay, worst job I ever had by far. By far. I was working for this lift company where we would go and install lifts.
Oh, I remember that.
I quit my job. I worked there for like 1 month. They ended up letting me go, which I'm not even mad about. Like, they did me a favor, honestly.
Funny story though, like where I used to work, he just showed up one day working there on the lifts. It was cool. He was like, "Hey, Joey." I'm like, "What's up, Asante?" Just see him walking by the shop. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
I ended up actually working at that shop as a service advisor a little bit later on in life too. But yeah, we're over here installing these lifts, and like there's no real safety.
Yeah.
We're on a ladder.
I'll tell you what though, Dakota was a cool guy.
Oh yeah, they're cool people.
Yeah, Dakota was a cool guy. I remember him.
They're cool people, but I just didn't like their process of how like they set up. I literally go on like basically you have to install these two post lifts.
Yep.
You're climbing all the way up. You have no.
I mean, these guys like they would literally. What do you think that what post weighs? 1,000 pounds?
I don't even know.
Maybe a few hundred to 1,000 pound, right? They'd put it on a forklift and lift it up. And once they got it standing, they'd lower the forklift, have one of the guys get on the forklift, the same forklift, lift him up with no, harness, no nothing, to start piecing the other one together. It was crazy. Like, if you saw it, you'd be like, yeah, that does not look like it's a good idea.
I'll never forget, we'll have like 2 ladders on each side, and then we're over carrying like this 40, 50 pound beam, the one that goes on the top.
Yeah.
And we're like balancing it as we're going up. I'm just like, yeah, this probably isn't the job for me. I'm over here on the ladder. I'm shaking and stuff when I'm getting to the top.
Those are some big ladders,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not even mad you guys let me go. This definitely is not the job for me for sure.
Yeah, well, there it is. I mean, it's it was not the job for you.
No,
I
it
would
was not.
I would say it probably wasn't the job for me.
I, I mean, they told me when I started working there, we are like, yeah, we just went through like 10 people. I was just like,
You're like, maybe that's why, right?
bro, you got to go to the gym to even do that job, bro.
Yeah. Well, mine's pretty easy. I used to, and we live here in Las Vegas, so I used to work at the Palazzo at one of the casinos here downtown. And I used to be a cook. I used to be a cook at a restaurant down there called Grimaldi's. Shout out to Henry.
Wait, that was your worst job?
Yeah, shout out
Bro,
to
you said
Henry.
the pizza was fire, though.
My brother that worked with me, Ronald, rest in peace. He was my boss there, and what's it called? It was a cool job. I mean, it was a fun job. Being a cook was cool. Something I always wanted to do when I was a kid. The food was amazing. The pizza there, the salads, everything was really, really good. But the reason why I'm telling you that it was the worst job is because of the time. So I worked what they call swing, which is like the late shift. So I would work from like 6 in the afternoon to like 3 a.m. Or 2 a.m. or
Yeah.
5 in the afternoon to like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. We carpooled as well, so by the time I got home, it was like 3 o'clock and in the morning, 3:30, and that job for like the year and a half that I worked at, I guess just it took away a lot from life because I miss weddings, I miss birthdays, I missed a lot of stuff. You know what I mean, from a family point of view, because I worked there, and it was a job that the job itself was fun. The people were awesome, they were great, but I mean, think about this: you get out of work. Let's say you get home 3:30. You go to sleep, right? What time do you wake up? Maybe 1 o'clock,
Right.
right? So they usually wake up at 12, 1 o'clock. And then you eat something. Next thing you know, it's 2 o'clock. You got to leave to work at 5. Like, you're cooked. You have no life. You know what I mean? You have no life because it took away my whole afternoon and part of my night where you're sleeping. You know what I mean? And then you go to sleep just to wake up and go do it again.
Yeah, rinse, wash, repeat.
Yeah, so that was pretty miserable. I mean, the job itself was cool. The people were great, and what's it called? The food was even better. Probably gained a few pounds working there. I'm not gonna lie, but excuse me, it was just the schedule sucked, brother. The schedule sucked for sure. I feel like my current schedule sucks, but at least it's not at night. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm sure it pays more too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. $10 an hour for making these freaking $60, $70 pizzas, for people, and salads and all this and that. Yeah, you didn't. It was you were very underpaid, and there'd be times where I think we had a roulette wheel with tickets. Maybe it had 20 to 30 tickets on the roulette wheel for orders coming in. I promise you, there'd be times where that roulette wheel was full for 3 to 4 hours. That's 3 to 4 hours of just
straight
nonstop. That oven where we were cooking, when they stoked it in the morning, I think they would get it to like 1,000 degrees. You know what I mean? It'd be glowing hot, and if they didn't stoke it at midday correctly, by the time we were cooking at night, you were cooking in a cold oven, and you were not cooking those pizzas correctly. It was just one of those things. It was one of those things, and it was a very cool job, good experience, but I wouldn't want to go back and do that. If I did, it'd be during the day.
During the day.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you got your next question?
All right, let's see. What do we got? I'm trying to think of questions we haven't quite answered before.
You want me to go ahead and answer my question while you look for one?
Okay.
So my next question was, what do you fear more? Trying to stay on the topic that we've been going with. What do you fear more, success or failure?
Failure.
Failure. Okay. Why failure?
For me, it still goes back down to racing. It's like if I don't get to a certain level of success, I won't be able to actually race, full time or anything like that. And that would pretty much kill me. like my whole entire lifestyle, everything I do is all literally situated around racing. That could be shallow to some people, you know, sure, fair enough. But to me, I'm trying to be as successful as possible because I just want to achieve my childhood dream of, you know, racing. For some reason, I was sold the dream to be a race car driver, you know, and I'm still chasing it.
What sold you that dream?
I don't know. I think it might have been my brother.
Your brother? He
I
was
think I think it might have been my brother because he was in the cars, and then you know maybe my dad a little bit too. And then we watched like Fast and Furious growing up, and my dad would you know buy me the toy cars and stuff like that. And then you know possibly it might be genetics too, you know, because my grandpa was in the cars. He was like a drag racer and stuff like that, and he won like championships and stuff like that
Wow,
doing
really?
drag racing. Yeah.
that's I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's
So
really
yeah, he
cool.
owns like a freaking junkyard that has like 80 cars in the lot.
Still does?
Still does. I mean, all those cars are ran through.
Is it in Georgia?
In Georgia.
What?
Yeah, they ran through. Like we would go there and we saw like a Mustang and it's all like has all the leaves and rust and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And he has like buses, motorcycles. It's pretty wild.
That's
So,
really cool though.
You know, might kind of run in the family a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I feel that. I mean, do you think that sim racing has you know supplemented any of that? Because you can go be a pro sim racer.
I think sim racing is one of the greatest things in the entire world. Because
Sure.
in a way, you spend that maybe $100, 200, 300, maybe 1,000 nowadays. Really, you spend that $1,000, and then after that, it's just paying you back. Every single time you start doing
You use
lap
it.
after lap, you're just getting your money back every single time. Because a set of tires, you know, costs you $200, $300, you know, and then building the drift car costs you maybe 5, 6, 7, you know, $10,000, whatever.
Right.
But that one sim, you spend that $1,000,
And you could get a good sim for like $1,500, right?
yeah, pretty good. You'll be super solid with like $1,500
Yeah.
budget for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like eventually, when I get myself situated with you know my kids in life, I definitely want to make that investment. I have a cheaper setup right now. That's fun just to get on and go. But I know I definitely want to make the move to a serious, you know, setup because I also find it enjoyable and fun and something I want to
Yeah,
do.
that actually would be the best way for you to get back into it, you know?
Yeah.
Now I think about it. Because, like, right now he plays on PlayStation instead of Corsa. I'm trying to get him to switch over to PC because PC, oh, God, you won't be able to get off of it. You know, at that point, you'll start living all your initial D dreams driving down Mount Akina.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I feel like I was just talking about how my job takes pretty much all the time I have away from me, and between that and family and kids, and it's pretty hard. You know what I mean? It's pretty hard to try to do that. I mean, the other day, Sergio, he called me. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go ride our bikes down the strip. You know how they're doing that."
Oh, that sounds
And
fun.
I've been wanting to do that for months. I've been wanting to go down there and I don't know. They do like a couple mile ride down the Las Vegas Boulevard and the Strip and the old downtown, but I just haven't had time. You know what I mean? I just haven't had the time to go do that between Christmas and everything going on last month, birthdays. Just one of those things, you know. But I'll transition to me. For me, it's fear. Obviously, I fear failure more. I fear failure more than success because I feel like we've been given a golden ticket. I feel like we've been given a golden ticket. I feel like we were born in what's arguably could be the best country in the world, where you could be born poor and you could die there. You know, one of the richest men in the world, and if we don't capitalize on that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's our bad. That's our fault. You can't blame nobody else but yourself. There's going to be a lot of people who say, "Oh, the school system sucks. Everything is set to be against you." But no, I don't have a victim mentality. You know, there's a lot of people who've succeeded, like Richard Sherman and what's his name, Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch, who grew up. I think it was like in Oakland, where everything was against them, and look where they are now. You know what I mean? They were, excuse me, they were very successful. So, yeah, for me,
Yeah.
it's that, and then that with what I mentioned earlier, the sacrifice that my mom and dad did for me to even be here, between growing up here, between well, my parents sacrificed everything I know now. We live in a you know, the information age where you can learn any trade, not maybe not any trade, but you can literally learn anything on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We learned how to edit, how to post, like everything that has to do with editing and videography. We literally learned that in probably a couple months, right?
Yeah, film settings, all that kind of stuff.
Shutter speeds, da 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 da. So it's like that for me is that's the biggest fear. For me to die one day and to be in my deathbed and to just know that I didn't give it 110%. You know what I mean? And that's why I am where I am. And it's maybe I don't know if it's a male thing, but it's something that I think about a lot, and I know it's something you think about a lot. Something that's always wandering in our minds. The things we actually worry about. So yeah, for me it'd be that. It's like we got the golden ticket. We got to make this happen. That's why we do this once a week, twice a week, 6 a.m. I'm tired. You're tired. We got a family inside. He has to go to work sometimes, and we're still doing it. You know what I mean? We're trying to push out so much content that's impossible for us to fail.
Yeah, the classic Alex Ramosi quote.
Yep.
I love that quote. I'm gonna live, eat, sleep, and breathe that quote.
Yep. Absolutely. And what was the other quote you gave me last week that was fire?
Your thoughts create your reality.
Your thoughts create your reality. That one is also fire. Your thoughts create your reality. That's why I have a Porsche up there, because I want that to be my reality. You know what I mean?
We're gonna get one, bro. I'm gonna get another one too. Just because.
you gotta sneak that in there.
I'm gonna get another one.
That's funny. What's your question?
All right, let's see. I still haven't found it yet, to be honest.
Oh,
I know. I kind of found something, but I was just like, I think we could do better.
Did you see my new ring?
What? Why you got a watch ring? That is crazy. This is getting out of hand.
Check that out, fam. My new ring. I'm the watch guy, brother. I gotta have something like this. You know what I mean? One of my coworkers at work was like, "Bruh, I need that. How much money?" I'm like, "No, bro, they're sold out. I can't sell it to you."
They're sold out?
Yeah.
All right, I got you one. Here we go.
Let's go.
What risk paid you off?
What risk paid me off?
Yeah, what's a risk that paid you off?
Ooh, do you know yours already? Okay, shoot it.
All right, so for me, one risk that paid off is quitting the whole entire automotive industry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Spice. Hot take, guys.
Quitting the whole entire automotive industry. It's one of those things, like, it hasn't directly paid me off, financially wise per se. I was making more money ultimately, probably, in that jurisdiction for now. But I know if I'm able to capitalize on the time that I have, I know it's going to bring me a lot of success. Because it's like one of those things, it's just like what he's talking about. Even like, he talks about working at Grimaldi's and everything, but even where he works at now takes up a lot of his time. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get out of the automotive industry in general, because I used to work at the dealership. And then for me in particular, the dealership was like 40 minutes away. So I go and drive 40 minutes there, and then it's like an hour back because traffic gets even worse at night. And then I'm there for like 10 hours, 11, 12 hours, something like that. And then your whole entire day is burnt.
Yeah, and it's like you get shunned if you're not there 10 hours. You know what I mean? Like, people looked at you like you were crazy. Oh, you've only been here. You're leaving at 4. You're leaving at 5. What are you, nuts? You know what I mean? Like, people looked at you like you're crazy if you left on time. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. But
so yeah, it's just the hours investment. And then I realized there's no retirement. In that jurisdiction. You can get a 401k, but that's pretty much about it. So if you want like a pension or anything like that, it's not going to happen. So I got completely out of the automotive industry. Now I'm studying nursing. With nursing, I can work 3 days a week, have 4 days off, and I can get a pension and make just as much money, if not probably more.
While also, what they so call you being creative, you making content, you doing that, right?
Yeah. My friends were telling me, they were like, there's this situation where, so you have 4 days off, right? 3 days on, 4 days off. You can take, you can do those 3 days, and then you can have those 4 days off. And then you can do a quick little inverse where you have another 4 days off and then work 3 days.
So you have 8 days off?
So you have 8 days off.
What?
And then if you want to take, 2-day little vacation or whatever.
Where do I sign up?
So you're almost off for 10 days. So I was just like, bro, say I wanted to go travel the whole entire United States and go race. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
4 days. While I'm still getting just as much money, if not more. So I had this huge epiphany, because Chewy over here, he was like, So we were at this location. We were both working at like Buick GMC. Well, eventually he wasn't, but we were both working there at one point. And he was like, "Bro, you need to quit that place because it was just kind of like
Yeah, it was a, what do they call
a
it?
sinking ship."
Always revolving door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got there, like 10 people literally quit.
Yeah, yeah.
The manager that hired me quit. I was like, how are you gonna, bro? I was like,
You hired me, brother.
he was so good too. I'm not gonna lie, he was so good. I was so inspired to work with him and learn with him. And then yeah, I only got like one day. He had literally one day. He's like, bro, I'm only gonna see you for one day, so I'm gonna try and drop literally as much knowledge to you as possible for this one day. A couple hours. But yeah, so I quit there, and then I was supposed to go to another dealership, and I was just kind of sitting and thinking about it, and I was like, I just had this huge epiphany. I was like, why? Why? I can completely rewrite my story.
Right.
I can go to college. I don't really have too many responsibilities at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and me, like, being my best friend, my friend, I definitely noticed a shift. I noticed a shift of how you were when you were working, because you were working with us. How you were when you were working with us, and the stress level, and how you were as a person to when you left. It's like just the biggest burden off your shoulders was just gone. You know what I mean? You're happier. You're doing more. I mean, you even got in shape. You started going to the gym,
Yeah.
all types of stuff, and I noticed that too, which is cool. Sometimes just because you're not set in stone. If you work somewhere and you're not happy, just because you've been there a long time doesn't mean that's your end all be all. You know what I mean? Take the leap of faith, do something that's gonna make you happy, and try it. I mean, if you're financially, if financially you can't, you can't take that leap of faith, I'm sure that you could maybe start by doing small things. You know what I mean? Or maybe like a part-time job. I don't know, whatever, so on and so forth, whatever it is. But you definitely got to try to get out of that. You know what I mean? Because you're never going to be happy when you get home. That energy transitions to your family and your friends, and it's not good for you.
To add on to that, I think that's like some fire advice. Like when you think about it, a lot of people, you do this one thing and you do it for so long, you just feel completely stuck.
Yep.
And you feel like, oh man, I can't switch jobs. I've been doing this for so long. I don't want to throw away everything I ever worked for. And I get that there's this huge value of everything you gained in the past, but there's also the value of the future. Your whole entire life is now going to be predicated on this thing that you're not even passionate about anymore.
Right.
So, there's a huge cost either way.
Shout out Wrist Unwound. You want to read that real quick?
As a man, I think it's important that we take the time to take care of our own mental health.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that me and him have we've talked about, so many times. I mean, I've literally, TMI, I've literally been like on the urge of having a breakdown, and I call him. You know what I mean? I call him, and I think everybody should have somebody they can call, and express, maybe some feelings that you can't go home and you don't want to share with your partner. You know what I mean?
Right.
And or maybe battles that you're fighting by yourself, but you definitely have to, take care of yourself, worry about your mental health, and like I said, there's been times I've been on that edge, and I call you and I tell you, yo, I'm tripping right now, bro. like how are you doing? You know what I mean? And
yeah, it's just that little 8-minute conversation.
Yeah, we just start talking, and we get to where we are now. We get that flow state going, and things just feel a lot better. But yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, like, I'm happy society as a whole, we're talking about this more and more, but in the past, it was one of those things, like, if you talk about any type of feelings or emotions as a man, like, it's kind of looked down upon.
No, for sure. I mean, I personally, myself, I never saw my father cry until the day his mother passed away. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine that, like, you've never experienced pain where you cry, and the first time I see you cry is when your mother passes away. I know that's not true because I've been there. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's things in my life that I've experienced that made me cry, and it wasn't, maybe it didn't lead to like the death of a family member or a loved one or a friend, but where you just like, you've been holding it in for so long that you just have to let it out. You know what I mean? Or what do you think?
Yeah. We actually have one more question from Wissam Ram. How have watches been a part of your mental health journey?
That's a good question because so for me personally, and me myself and I found watches as more of a, and it's funny because I'm gonna make a YouTube video about this in the upcoming weeks of why watch collecting. But for me, it's that it's I've really got into watches in 2020, like right when COVID was gonna hit. Why? I was always into watches, but I really got into watches during that time because I couldn't hang out with you anymore. I couldn't hang out with our friends anymore because of everything so and so going on.
You're just watching
You
time
know,
go by?
and I started drinking. You know what I mean? I got into bourbons, and I started buying bourbons. I started drinking, and I found myself at a crossroad where I was like, I'm coming home every day because we were essential workers still. I found myself coming home and drinking every day, and I kind of hit a crossroad. I'm like, this can't be good for me. You know what I mean? This can't be good for me. And I don't know. I think like a Teddy Baltasar video popped up on my feed, and I went down the rabbit hole. You know, and I went down the rabbit hole with watches. And the way I see watches, it was something that I could connect with by myself. Something that was very personal to me. You know what I mean? My opinions, my likes, my dislikes. Is something that I did by myself. That was like, it was personal. It was personal for me. At least my journey has been very personal, and it's something that I was excited about, that I would share with my wife. She was happy that I would share, this new passion that I found.
Yeah.
She bought me a watch, and so on and so forth. So for me, it was like, it's something that was at first very personal, and very me. I like to restore watches and clean watches, so it was just kind of like, when it's that, I put on a good podcast or a good video, and I start doing my own thing, and that helps my mental health, and and then now it's evolved to, there's such a great community of people out there in the watch community that I go and I talk to people. You know what I mean? Wrist Unwound, I appreciate you. You reached out to me when you found me, or I found you, so on and so forth. And you reached out. You told me, if there's anything you need that you need help with, just reach out. And I can't believe you did that. That's not a lot of people are like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my shout out to my buddy Vanilla Bean Isaac. He's a great dude. He's a younger dude too. He's younger than me. And anytime I have an idea or something that just comes up to my head, I go past. We talk about it, and we bounce ideas off each other, which is also awesome. You know what I mean? And that's kind of it. You know what I mean? It went from something I did by myself that was personal to me, that I enjoyed, to now it's like a community thing. And I want to keep it a community thing. I want to tell stories,
Yeah, the community part's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I told you about that guy that was selling his father's watch. I got in communication with him. Luckily, I want to thank Wrist Unwound, because he volunteered to purchase the watch without taking anything in return, just so the guy can keep it. You know what I mean? But luckily, I talked to the guy earlier this week, and they figured out some stuff between him and his sisters and their family, and they're gonna be good. You know what I mean? They're gonna be good. So happy and grateful about that. Because I know you just got your first watch. You wearing it?
No, actually, it's
in your bag.
It's in my camera bag.
I gifted him his first watch, which I'm very, very proud about.
I want to get into the next question, actually.
Yeah, let's get into the next question. Oh man. Got my watch ring on today, guys. From G-Shock.
I still can't believe that's even a thing.
Bro, this thing is so cool, bro.
Bro, that's how you know you're an addict, bro. You're
This
not
thing
an
is
addict
so
until you have one
cool.
of those, bro. I'm just letting you know.
What was the watch? So my first watch was it was a Bulova skeleton that my wife bought me. But the one I kind of went down that rabbit hole was a Seiko SSK GMT. And on my channel, it's also known as my travel buddy. I went down the rabbit hole with that and the SKX. That's kind of what led me. I got the SKX and the SSK that was gifted me from my wife.
Okay, the question is, how do you stay focused long term?
How do I stay focused long term? This is gonna be, for some people, this is gonna be a controversial take, but not for me. I am a faith-driven man. You know that, and I wake up every single day, and I thank the man upstairs for everything, for my children, for the roof over my head, for my health. Even if something hurts, I'm thankful for that, because your best day is someone's worst day. I've always told you that. You know what I mean? And that I literally, like, when I lock my door, when I leave every single day, I say, Lord, my life is in your hands, and I go on. And that's kind of what, like, that helps me from hopefully, like, veering in other directions.
I imagine it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit, right?
It absolutely does take the pressure off, because the way I see my life is, if I left today, and as long as I would love to say bye to my children, but if I left today, I would be grateful, because I got to meet my family, I got to meet my kids, I got to do what I've done to this point, and you can't live your life any other way. I think so. You can't live your life in the darkness. You got to live your life in the light, and you got to think positive about things. You can't be negative. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what keeps me focused. Like, sometimes your mind will wander, or you'll go do something that you shouldn't be doing. Like, you're gonna go drink, and you don't want to drink, but you just going to drink because you want to drink, right?
Right.
Sometimes I stop myself. Like, I'll be drinking, and like mid drink, I'm like, no, I don't need it. Like, because I'm mostly a social drinker, but sometimes you just want to drink, just drink, and I'm like, no, I don't need it. I can I can put that down, and I'll be fine. So that's kind of, for me, it's that mostly my faith, and then my family, the people around you, are huge when it comes to being focused. If you have a chaotic household, your life is gonna be chaotic. You know what I mean? Every man, I think, wants peace when they go home, and luckily I got a beautiful wife and kids that, my kids are in that stage, the crazy twos or whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's peaceful, and I can rely on her, and she can rely on me for anything, and that kind of that structure of stability, I guess you could say, between work, having the stability at work, having the stability with my family at home, and then my faith, that kind of all, comes as to one unit to just keep me focused. And
The one thing I noticed about drinking, though, is, like, if you are feeling some kind of way, it can make it disappear. To be honest, because there's times where I have, like, anxiety, and then I take a shot, and then, like, instant, I just felt the relief. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, no, I mean, I know what you're saying, but for me, it's one of those things, like, I mean, it's not good for you. Obviously, it's not good for you,
so
right? But I'll just pour a drink just to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I shouldn't be doing, because I tell myself, if I'm in a social gathering, it's okay, right? But if I just got home, I'm chilling, I'm not stressed, I'm not upset, I'm not any type of way, and I just pour a drink just to pour a drink, because I'm a big guy, brother. It takes a lot of alcohol for me to even start feeling anything. You know what I mean? So that's when I, like, stop myself. Like, if I have this drink, excuse me, it's not gonna do anything. It's literally one drink's not gonna do nothing for me. So that's kind of where I know what you're saying, and you're right.
Yeah. For me, I'm a lightweight, so I don't really drink that often. But there were some times where I was feeling, like, super stressed out, and then I just go and take a shot, and then instantly it's like, bro, it was like instant relief. I'm like, this is crazy, because I guess when you drink, it kind of calms down your central nervous system and stuff like that. But lately, I've been feeling so much better mentally that I haven't really felt the need for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing. It's like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I come home and mentally I'm good. Why am I gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm telling you that, like, sometimes you just, like, I'll be doing that, and then I will stop. Like, I'll leave my drink halfway. My wife's like, "What's that?" If you're not gonna drink it, throw it away or put it in the dishes. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where it's you know, where I know it's not good for you. You know what I mean? My dad hasn't drank in maybe 8 or 9 years now, maybe a little less. I'm not sure, but it's definitely not good for you. You know what I mean?
Let's see. So what keeps me focused long term? It's 110% gonna be racing. You know, we're still going back to that. You know, selling myself the dream again. Essentially, I'm completely sold out on this. That's literally the best way to describe it. I'm completely sold out on, you know, becoming a race car driver. So everything I do, it's always like in unison towards accomplishing that one dream.
It's what do they call it? It's the funnel effect. That's awesome though.
Yeah, everything's kind of pointed like, why do you try so hard? Why do you put so much effort into this? Well, I want to be a race car driver. Like, I mean, it sounds so shallow, you know, but ultimately I just keep selling myself the
You
dream.
know, the good thing about that, I think so. I could be wrong. The good thing about that is that you're so focused and objective driven of you accomplishing that dream that's you eat, sleep, and think about it. You know what I mean? Whereas there's people who don't dream of anything, who don't inspire for anything, who are
Yeah.
couch potatoes and maybe like wasting their life away in one way or another. And you, in the opposite, you want to do this so bad that you're willing to you're willing to do everything and anything you can to accomplish it, which is honorable, which is cool, because it makes sure you're always laser focused. Have you ever felt like you went off the path, like I don't know, like you bought something, or a night out that costed you too much money, or a vacation, like something that set you back, I guess?
I mean, the only thing that really actually set me back is the car blowing up, you know? But I don't think that really counts. I've never been off the path.
No.
Never ever been off path. I feel like I've done some things that may have not been the best way to get me there.
Right.
Like, I do think to a certain degree buying multiple cars is actually the worst thing I could ever do to become a race car driver, because now your money gets spread out and
Right.
becomes super thin. Versus if I just put money into one car, one truck, then, I'd probably be okay in that light. So I do feel like that is probably one place I did maybe mess up on. Maybe going too adverse and getting too many cars. And,
At the end of the day, you're happy.
I mean, I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
I'm not mad, but
You know what I mean? That's a setback you're willing to take any day, right?
like I love cars. I love racing. Those are two different things, though. At the end of the day, those are actually two different things. Very close, but they're two different.
They're
things.
relatable, but they're not the same, right? Or they're related, but they're not the same. Well, that's a good one. Any other questions?
All right, next question.
I hit you with my 3 already, brother. I came swinging today.
I'm always unprepared. I'm never prepared, bro.
I came swinging
Let's
today.
see. The thing is, it gets harder and harder to find questions because it's like, I already asked you that question.
Well, ask questions. Ask questions. Regarding what we're talking about. You know what I mean? We're talking about business. We're talking about career. We're talking about, regrets.
What success misconception annoys you?
Save that question. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna drop a bomb. I'm gonna drop some fire right now. To everybody out there who's, I want to tell you something. Tell me what you think. Everybody out there who's working a job and is comfortable, depending on what the job is, obviously, but anybody who's out there who's working a job and is comfortable, I'll tell you from my experience, that was probably one of the worst things that could happen to you, because that is years off your life you're gonna lose. Years off your career path that you're gonna lose being comfortable. You know what I mean? Being comfortable will make you complacent, and it will not make you strive for more. I was at a point at one job where the money was okay, the hours were great. You know what I mean? And the work was not bad. And I did that for 1, 2, 3 years, that when I finally picked up on it, I'm like, oh man, 3 years of my life have gone by. And 3 years you're not going to get back. And sometimes you see people maybe around you or that getting ahead, but it was always because I was comfortable. I was always comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't get comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, get good at something, get good at it, but then, keep learning. I didn't want to keep learning because, if I keep learning, I'm going to have to do this now, and I'm going to have to do that now. And
Yeah, a lot of people have that mentality.
I had that mentality. I'm one of those persons. I had that mentality, and it's not a good mentality to have because you kind of stay stuck in one place, and that's not good.
Especially in the automotive industry, a lot of people have that mentality because what will happen is like say, so in automotive and like in also a lot of fields, everything's kind of divided. Like if you're a doctor, oh, I only work on the heart, oh, I only work on the brain. Same thing with cars. Oh, I only do engines. I only do electrical. Like a lot of there's not that many all around techs anymore. A lot of stuff is really
Categorized.
yeah categorized. And so what will happen is when you take someone who's been doing the same thing and you put him in something completely different, he's like, oh man, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to learn and go to school. Like I don't want to start all over. So yeah, I know what you mean.
That's exactly where I was. I mean, it was in the automotive industry. You know what I mean? And you see people starting to get ahead of you, and nothing against them. It's just like I was just complacent. You know what I mean? I was just comfortable where I was at, and that's not. I mean, it could be good because if stability is what you're looking for, that's awesome, right? Keep doing what you're doing. But for someone, how I think and how you think, it's not good. You know what I mean? Because you want to push, you want to more, and a lot of people will give themselves like this victim mentality of like, oh, why am I not getting lucky? Why am I? Well, you're not doing nothing different. You know what I mean? You have to do something different to get ahead. You have to take a risk to get ahead. If you're not doing anything different, you can't complain about it, and nothing's gonna happen to you because you're not doing nothing. You know what I mean? And I was that person for a couple years in my career, and luckily I snapped out of it, and I completely changed. I completely changed careers, and that helped a lot. But that's definitely one thing that I would say is don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself on what you're doing. Always keep striving for more and keep learning.
So when it comes to success, I think everyone kind of thinks, oh, once I get here, I'll be okay, and then I'll be able to chill out. Kind of like what you're talking about. But the thing is, even when you get to the certain like dollar amount, oh, okay, I'll change up a little bit. So one thing that annoys me about success, I'm gonna say, is everyone's kind of chasing this dollar.
Right.
It's like, okay, oh, once I make 100 grand, I'll be fine. Once I make this 200, 1 million, it becomes this endless chase where you think once I get there, it's the end all be all, and now you're all of a sudden gonna be happy. And I think that's just a huge mistake. Like you're chasing this dollar amount, and they're never gonna be fulfilled because once you hit that mark, you're just gonna go, okay, well, maybe I need to get to 10 million. Now you're just going to keep, moving
the needle.
The needle,
Now let me add something to you though. Let me ask you something because for everybody's different. For you it could be different. For me it's different. For you it's different. What does that success mean to you? Like at what point will you be successful? You know what I mean? Like some people could make 120 grand a year, drive a Corolla, and their house paid off, and that's success for them. You know what I mean? That's it. They're cool. That's what they want. But what is it to you?
It still goes back down to that.
Right.
It goes down to racing.
It goes down to racing.
It goes back down to racing.
What does Asante's life look like?
The dream for me would literally be getting paid to race. Like if I can at least make 100 grand a year, bare minimum, I'd say. Bare minimum, because that's what it costs, I think, in today's time, bare minimum to even have a house nowadays. Like 100 grand a year, at least, and then getting paid to race, to me, that would be the dream. The more money, the more I can do it more. But as long as I hit that bare minimum, I'll be happy and satisfied.
So that's success in your life. In your life, it would be making 100K and getting paid to race, right? See, for everybody's different. For me, it'd be if I can do something like this podcast, like maybe run an online watch store or a brick and mortar store and be able to, grow a family and be with my family and my parents. To me, that's success. You know what I mean? I would definitely love to be able to do something where I don't have to punch in 9 to 5. My case 6:30 to 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? To punch in and maybe still be able to do the things I want to do and work at the same time. You know what I mean? Kind of like, you go home, you edit, you're working technically, you know what I mean? But you're still there, you know what I mean? That's kind of where, for me, that would be success. I mean, for me to be able to be home, do everything I want to do, maybe run some businesses. that I think that's what I would want. You know.
Man, just the dream of being home and racing and getting paid to race.
For me, everything revolves to me around my children.
Yeah.
You know, my children, my family, and my parents. If I have that around me, I'm happy. You know, and just my dad wasn't around when I was a kid, so I want to be around. Maybe it might not be the greatest way of thinking, but for me that's how I'm programmed because my pops wasn't there, and I want to be there. You know what I mean? But what was your question?
It was what's something about success that annoys you, basically.
Something about success that annoys you? I mean, um,
Maybe people's egos.
people's ego. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Actually,
I
yeah.
wasn't even
Actually,
thinking
yeah.
about
You know
it.
what? Yeah.
I
for
wasn't even
sure.
thinking about it like that.
Yeah, no, I think about it. That is, yeah, people's egos. Like people get to a certain degree and like, oh, I got this, I got that. You know, they just kind of talk down on other people, and yeah, that definitely annoys me to the max because it's just like, well, I promise you, there's someone else who's making more money and could look at you, you know, the same exact way. So it's kind of like one of those really ridiculous things to go and judge people.
Absolutely, especially like I mean, you see people that I would say aren't even successful, but they have like a good job, a good career, and you see how they treat people like at a restaurant, and it's like, bro, you can lose it all. You can be that same guy, you know, in 1 or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 years, that could be you. So yeah, I agree with that. I hate people who are arrogant, stuck up, and act like their poo poo don't stink. You know what I mean? But everybody's human. Treat everybody like it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I didn't think about that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I didn't think. Yeah, that just like hit me, you know, son.
Yeah. Have you ever encountered that? I mean, you working in the service industry?
When I started working at the Win, yeah,
Yeah.
when I started working at the Win, because essentially you go there and it's like all these high dollar people, and you can just feel it's like, man, oh my god, I feel like there's so many like entitled and stuck up people here. I'm like, this is crazy.
Little context: the Wynn is a 5-diamond hotel in Las Vegas. It's one of the most prestigious and most expensive hotels in Las Vegas. So that's kind of why he's telling you about the, I say, demographic that goes there.
Yeah, the people that are there, like apparently Shaq is there. Like, there's a whole bunch of celebrities. Like, I worked at the buffet at the time, and then you just see the coach from like one of the football teams or basketball teams walking by, like nothing, you know. Amber Rose was there apparently. Like, you see celebrities there all the time.
Right. For me, it wasn't even like that. But you remember when we worked at Chevrolet, Corvette owners.
A Corvette.
Corvette owners. I mean, I was a lube guy, and he would go help us out in the lube rack sometimes. And the Corvette owners would, park their car. They would like skip the whole line, put it in the lube rack, in the lube line, and would want their oil change right now. Like, forget everybody else. Forget your Chevy Cruze. You know what I'm saying? They wanted their Corvette done right now. Because why? Because they drove a Corvette. Why? Because it might be the most expensive car in the Chevrolet lineup, and they felt entitled that it had to be done first. And that was so annoying, bro. You remember that? That was so annoying.
Yeah, those Corvette owners, they be on another planet, bro.
They'd be like, this is the special edition, only 3,000 of this color, da-da-da-da. They be hitting you with all the specs. You know what I'm saying? You're like, calm down, bro. It's just a Corvette.
Kind of reminds me of Fast Verse. I'm happy you can read the brochure, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Let's see. Next question I have for you, senor.
This will be the last one, I guess. We're at an hour.
What luxury still doesn't matter to you?
What?
What luxury still doesn't matter to you?
Can you break that down?
It's kind of along the lines of once you have a certain amount of success and you get this, and you could go and buy this or do these kind of things. What doesn't really benefits you? I'm trying to think.
I got one, but it's related to watches. You know what I mean? My F91W, which is a $20, $25, $30 watch, depending where you buy it, is probably one of the most obtainable watches you could buy. And I have a Grand Seiko, which is very expensive, but to me, they both do the same thing, just in different ways, but they both give me the same feeling. You know what I'm saying? So one's $20-$30. I love to look at it. I love to stare at it. It makes me feel a type of way. There's a time and place for it. The other one's a lot more, and it still makes me feel a type of way, and it's still, I still love to look at it, and it's still telling a story, and it's two different price points. You know what I mean? One is your whole check, and one is $30, $20. I don't know. So for me, that's like one of those things.
That's actually pretty fire.
Just because I'm passionate about it, you know what I mean? I'm passionate about it, and that's why I feel that way. You know what I mean? I have Timexes that I absolutely love that were free. That was a gift that I absolutely love wearing it. Excuse me, that give me the same feeling that my Omega Speedmaster does. That I bought for my 30th birthday. But at that point, I think it's passion. Passion more than anything.
Trying to think of an answer. I mean, I guess it'd be like saying like having maybe like the biggest house. I don't. If I had a lot of money, yeah, I would probably want to have like a big estate, but I'm not gonna go and chase. Oh, I need to get like the top of the line house, or really top of the line anything really, unless it's cars. There might be something in cars I might actually.
I feel like that's a different question though.
That is kind of.
Because you asked me you pretty much asked me what's a luxury good that when you get to so high it's still going to be the same for you. I know. I feel like I know what it'd be for you. Panda. I feel like even if Asante Mar is making money, he's still gonna go eat at Panda.
Oh, okay. Actually, I do have a real answer for you.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna say clothes.
Oh,
clothes.
Absolutely, yes.
I was telling my friend this other day. I was like, bro, I could be a millionaire. I'm still shopping at Ross, bro. I'm still shopping at Ross. I don't care.
Maybe
care.
I'm not shopping there, but I'll make somebody shop for me. Right?
If I could. If I felt like it wasn't like a threat to my safety or whatever. I'm still shopping at Ross. Like, I don't care. Like, when it comes to clothes, like, this whole entire fit, I'm not going to say it's from Ross or whatever, but, I'm pretty sure these pants were from Ross, So I don't care about having, like, the greatest freaking clothes or anything like that. As long as it's good enough, I'm happy. Kind of like that J. Cole type thing.
See, I'm a little bit, when it comes to that, I'm a little bit opposite. Because I believe if I spend a little more money on it, it's going to last me longer. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, my jeans, I love Levi's. Why? Because they last forever. Like, I literally... Go ahead.
Do they still have the lifetime warranty?
I don't know if they have lifetime warranty. Do they?
Did you hear about that?
No.
One of the techs is actually, he's like, one of the techs. He's like, bro, did you know your Levi's actually have, like, a lifetime warranty? Or, like, some crazy 50-year warranty where if they get damaged or anything like that, you can literally send them in and Levi will go and fix them for you.
What? I have a pair right now in the closet that I can get
Look
fixed.
at the tag, bro. Look at the back of the tag.
Oh, man. Yeah, so
that's still
for me, it's one of those things where it's like, buy once, cry once. Obviously not at a like $200 level, but $30-$40 for a pair of jeans. I literally have jeans that I've had for like 10 years. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to Levi's, at one point Levi's were like, bro, those were like top of the line pants.
Yeah, I mean,
top of the line pants.
We were in high school, they were kind of top of the line stuff.
You're spending
right?
$50 on pants, it was expensive, but you're like, bro, I got these Johnnies, bro. I know what you mean. Levi's.
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of one of, like, when it comes to jeans, at least, I like Levi's. I like how they fit. I like how they look. I spend the money on them, and if I became a millionaire, I'd still buy Levi's. So there you go. Yeah, same thing, right?
Yeah, clothes,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, so I still buy Levi's. Shirts, I like Wrangler shirts. You buy a Wrangler shirt, it's gonna last you a long time. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Well, you got any closing statements? Anything coming up?
I just want to say, I hope everyone, let's see, is it going to be Christmas? Yeah. I hope everyone enjoys their holidays and, take the time to spend time with family, appreciate the time, get off your phone, and enjoy company. And I just want to say I appreciate everyone who tunes into this podcast, as always. Like, follow, subscribe. We appreciate all the engagement. Thank you, guys.
And for my part, I just want to say happy holidays. I hope everybody has a great time with their families and friends. And if you don't have anybody, call somebody. You know what I mean? Call somebody and maybe arrange something. And if you know of somebody who doesn't have somebody for these holidays, invite them. Bring them over to your house. Show them a good time, because everybody's going through something.
Yeah, you know.
You never know. Everybody's going through something. I believe this is one of the times where the suicide rate goes up the highest. because people are lonely. So if you know somebody, if you know somebody who's going through it, or maybe is going to be by themselves for the holidays, do them a favor, invite them over, and show them a good time, because you could be saving someone's life. You know what I mean? And I thank everybody for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me at Watch the Matter with Me on YouTube. You can follow him at Asante Hiroshi. We're waiting to get to those 50 subscribers. When we get those 50 subscribers, we'll be doing double lives. We'll be live here. We'll be live there. We'll be able to engage more. And so thank you very much. And I just hope everybody has a great holiday.
Thank you, guys.
Peace. Okay, do that again, bro. Oh, there you go. A little better.
Later.
Another one in the books. You ready for Christmas?
Nope. I'm completely going to wing it. Like every year.
That's like the most Asante Martin thing to do. Somebody asked us, what are we doing? We're pre-filming our podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast.
So you can look for Two Guys, One Garage podcast. That's what we're doing.
All right. So whenever we do these videos and everything, it's completely live for the most part. We don't even know what questions we're going to talk about. It's kind of random. What topic do you want to do today?
I don't know. Did you have one in particular?
We could talk about... Well, I know you kind of want to save it for February. I was thinking like relationships dynamics.
Yeah, that'd be good for February.
Probably better for February.
I had a question for our podcast. What do you fear more, success or failure? So we can go along the lines with like what have been some of our successes, what have been some of our failures. We can ask questions like, what's your worst job? Because that's another question I had. Like, what's the most terrible job you've had?
Okay.
Because it kind of correlates, or no?
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting our questions ready.
So that's two questions I had.
You're going to have to repeat them because I probably already
sure.
forgot them. Okay. All right, I got the questions ready. Let's do it.